Hey YouTube, how's it going? Big Vikings news. Bryant McKinney, left tackle on the offensive line, has been suspended by Roger Goodell and the NFL for 4 games. And Minnesota has got what you might call a tough schedule in the first 4 games. And this is a little concerning for Vikings fans, at least for this Vikings fan. McKinney's a good player. He's a good left tackle, and he's had his trouble with the law and deserves a suspension. When Brandon Marshall gets his reduced to 1 game and McKinney's is 4, that seems a little lopsided to me, and I don't know what chance there is of that getting reduced at all. But as it stands, we'll just assume he's going to be out the first 4 games. And here's what the first 4 games for Minnesota looks like. At Green Bay, home against Indianapolis, and then they've got Carolina and Tennessee. I think Carolina's at home and Tennessee is at the Titans. I'd have to check on that. And those are good teams. Green Bay has got a nice pass rush, and without a left tackle, and Tavares Jackson, of course, being right-handed, his blind side is unprotected. Indianapolis also has good pass rush. You look at Dwight Freeney, that's concerning. They also have a really good team. Not that the Packers don't have a good team, but the Colts are the Colts, and they are capable of putting up a lot of points. That defense, when it's healthy and working together, firing on all cylinders, capable of shutting teams down. So that's going to be a tough game. Carolina. Some people don't think Carolina is very good. I think Julius Peppers is capable of coming back and having a monstrous year. I think Jake Delhomme is capable of the same. He had an incredible year going last year before he got hurt. And from all indications in the preseason, his elbow looks to be fine. So that's a dangerous team. And finally, Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't have a great offense. Their tight ends is one of their biggest weapons, and Minnesota's linebackers are good enough that it's not too worrisome. Vince Young is dangerous with the run, but Minnesota, as you know, is pretty good against the run. You know, they've also had a really good defense in recent years, but I think that has peaked. I don't think it's as reliable as it was. So that's the game I'm least worried about, but I'm still worried about. My hope, and I will be happy with, the Vikings coming out of the first 4 games of the season with a 2-2 record. I see them beating Green Bay and Tennessee and losing to Indianapolis and Carolina. The Green Bay game is probably going to look bad for both quarterbacks. Green Bay's offensive line, Clifton's a very good player, but their guards, I'm a little worried about those guards. I think that Aaron Rodgers got sacked a lot in the preseason, and I think that the pass rush did not look bad around the end, but it looked bad up the middle. And you might remember Minnesota's got a couple players named Pat and Kevin Williams who are very good at getting up through the middle of the offensive line and creating havoc in the backfield. How much can Aaron Rodgers depend on Ryan Grant, the running game, and their defense? Quite a bit, actually, and it's pretty much the same story for the Vikings. The Vikings have better guards. But again, with McKinney out, the pass rush is going to be a problem. Jackson's going to be able to lean back on the running game and the defense quite a bit. But I think both quarterbacks look bad, and the game comes down to probably field position and maybe a turnover battle and a couple of good, lucky, big passing plays, both of which Aaron Rodgers and Tavares Jackson have displayed in the preseason. It's going to be an interesting game. Against Indianapolis, the best hope is that Peyton Manning's injury in the preseason has caused him to lose a little bit of chemistry with his wide receivers, and because of that, there will be a couple of miscues, a couple of miscommunications between quarterback and wide receiver, and a couple of passes going where they shouldn't go. Maybe when Marvin Harrison is the intended target, he'll be in the wrong spot, Peyton will throw in the wrong spot, something. A couple of times in the whole game, hopefully, and hopefully Darren Sharper will be on top of it and see the ball and hawk it and set up good field position, or at least take Indy's offense off the field, possibly run it back for 6. If that happens, Minnesota's got a chance. Otherwise, I think that game is very difficult to win. Unless the defense is just good enough to stop that offense, then we can, if Minnesota stays close and can just run, and work that clock down, win the time possession battle, then that would be the other way the Vikings could win that game. Against Carolina, not too worried about Musa Muhammad. The Vikings know what kind of player he is, playing him twice every year when he was with the Bears. DJ Hackett is a good player when he's not injured, and because it's just the third week of the season when Minnesota plays Carolina, there's a good chance that he's still healthy. There's an excellent chance Steve Smith is still healthy, and a very good chance that Jake Delhomme is still healthy, and that alone is going to create trouble for Minnesota. Not too worried about the 1-2 combo of D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. Stewart's a very talented rookie, but Minnesota's defense is just going to be a little too much for him to be effective. D'Angelo Williams will have to carry bulk of the running game, and I just don't see a whole lot of success there. That should be another good game. A superior offense versus a superior defense. But again, Carolina's defense is very decent. Minnesota's offense, I would say, is coming around to be, you could describe it as very decent. So we'll see what happens with that one. Lastly, Tennessee. Like I talked about, Alge Crumpler's one of their biggest weapons. Vince Young's scrambling ability is another one. But a tight end can be shut down by good linebacking, which I think Minnesota has. A very good and underrated linebacking core. Henderson, Greenway, Lieber really get the job done. Henderson having the speakers in the helmet this year. He's an incredibly smart player, and he's going to help coordinate that defense really well, I think, on the field. And Vince Young running, that's great, but Minnesota's so good at stopping the run, and the secondary is as such. I mean, Antoine Winfield is a cornerback, yes, but he's much more of a tackle at the line of scrimmage cornerback than he is a cover cornerback. So I don't see a whole lot of success on the Titans' most talented dimensions. And honestly, I think Minnesota can wear down that defense and get it done. So Minnesota's first 4 games, looking at win, loss, win, 2-2. That's my prediction. That's my hope. It'd be nice if Minnesota came out 3-1, but 2-2 seems reasonable and would be a very healthy start considering the rest of the schedule. Later today, I'm going to put up my predictions for all 32 NFL teams, their win-loss record. I did this a couple weeks back. I've changed my mind about a few teams. I think the Browns might come down a little. I think the 49ers might go up a little. Starting to believe more in that defense and Frank Gore. And J.T. O'Sullivan, my main man, played a little bit of Vikings football himself. So that should be interesting to see. You guys can look forward to that. Probably going to put that out later today since the NFL season starts tomorrow. We get to watch the Giants and the Redskins play. I'm super pumped. It's Wednesday morning now. That game is tomorrow night. Thinking the Giants are going to win that one. Very physical defense versus new head coach and new offense. I love Cooley. I love Santana Moss. And like Clinton Portis. But it's a West Coast offense now. New head coach. Going to take some time for everyone to get used to everyone. So, super excited for the NFL. It's about time. The summer has ended. And, yeah.